What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Pat Bernard, back here live after a week hiatus because of All Man Winter. Had me working all last week. As for all you guys got to see from the outside, it was coming down snowing heavily, 4 to 6 inches of snow out here in the great Montgomery County, right here in Ambler, Pennsylvania. But I am back today. And there's a lot to get into. Obviously, there's never a dull moment here in Philadelphia sports. And I'm your host, Pat Bernard. I'm going to be with you for the next entire hour. And I want to get right into a couple things. And I'm going to get right into the 76ers, this kickoff my morning. Because the 76ers, that's right, have won back-to-back games. One more W. If they can handle the Lakers on Tuesday, that's what you call a winning streak. It's happened before, and it can happen again. I am ecstatic, and this is the reason why. Right here tells you everything. Back-to-back wins because of Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey carrying the load. Last night, I thought for sure he was going to be an exit out of the game. He looked like he was leaving early. Just looks like when all the stars on this team have quit on this team. I mean, Paul George has a hurt pinky. Paul George was crying about a hurt pinky, and he could not continue the game. However, Tyrese Maxey carrying the load, being the warrior that he is. In 24 hours, he dropped 9 threes. Had 31 points Friday night, 29 points last night. Or 29 points on Friday, 31 last night. 9 assists last night. I mean, he's balling out for your 76ers. Really doing a good job. And the supporting cast is starting to come around a little bit. The supporting cast is coming around, like Kelly Oubre Jr. Finally, when the chips are down, he's stepping up on both ends of the floor. Great on defense. Great on offense. Being very aggressive low in the paint. Getting boards. Had double-double. 13 rebounds on Friday night, 12 rebounds last night. He's doing his thing. He's shooting well. Eric Gordon contributing to this team. And they're getting things done without the big man. I think this team has now gelled and finally realized he's an issue. He may not be coming through the door. My main man, pots and pans. Steve Fernandez, guys, check him out this week. He'll be doing a couple Sixers post-game shows. He's going to be down at the game today. He says Sixers don't even know how to tank right. They're going to lose their chances at the top 6 pick if they're going to keep winning. This season is a waste. Today is all about the Eagles. Go Birds. Yes, it is. But, Steve, you should be a little excited, right? It's better than sitting around talking about losses. And I guess I'm excited because guys like Maxey, I don't want to see lose. that deserves it, who's got to carry this load day in, day out, who, if he has an injury, they're legit. There's no working management. It's not looking for a day off. And I feel a little better. Now, are we talking about a championship run here? No. If you're looking at hindsight, no. There is no championship run. This is a playoff play-in tournament team at best. They won't survive a series with anybody. However, they did shake me up a little bit. They did put away the best team in the Eastern Conference. They took care of the Cleveland Cavs on Friday. So if they were beating up a bunch of bottom feeders like Charlotte and the Wizards, I'm not getting excited. But the fact that this team put away the Cleveland Cavs without their best player, with a bunch of injuries, that's dooming and glooming this team. All right. Now my eyebrow is raised. And then 24 hours, you get on an airplane, you head out to the Windy City, and you steal a W from the Bulls. And this team, they're winning grind out wins here. Like, and this team, like, again, Friday, they play against the Cavs. They don't stand a chance to play against the Cavs, right? They should have been getting the doors blown off of them. Not so fast. The defense, the in-the-paint defense has been a lot better. Steve's also checking in. He says they need a tank to get that 1 to 6 range lottery pick package Embiid next season, and for a reliable superstar who's going to go play. Yeah, but that's the thing, Steve. Like, the window on Joel Embiid has been missed. If they were going to trade him, it should have been 3 to 4 years ago. But since he is a catch-22, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, what have we seen him for a total of a cup of coffee on the floor this year for the 76ers? But the reason they're even close to playoffs is because of him. But now, and again, I don't know if it's him. I don't know the truth behind the scenes with the 76ers and with Joel Embiid. Is he really, how damaged is he? Are they trying to bung? I mean, we had the same conversation last year. Let's mortgage Joel Embiid and save him for next year. We've had this conversation. Me, Mike Laro, Al Safiri, Dives. We've all had this conversation. Just keep on mortgaging, keep him in bubble wrap until the next year. How many times am I going to keep on saying that line? Steve says the Cowboys who wiped the seats off the court have some more minutes than Joel Embiid this year. Yeah, you're right. The Cowboys, the Broom Boys, they do have more minutes than Joel Embiid. That's a shame. Like, he can't stay healthy. He just can't. This guy sneezes the wrong way. He's out for 5 months. So I have a question that's going to come later in the show about Danny Barrera for the Flyers and their future. But what is big picture for the 76ers this year? What is it? What are we doing here? Are we looking to make a splash? Is this it? Are we going to ride this thing out with all these old names? My man Phil Abundance. And guys, he does a great job on his Philly Sports SPTT. I get confused on his, but anyway, check my man Phil out. Hit him up, message him. Listen to his show, man. He's the best morning sports host, Philly sports host, Monday through Fridays in Philadelphia. That's my guy right there. He said, "Go bleeping birds." Yes. I'm a little scared there. Phil, I'm a little scared of this game. I'm biting my nails, to be honest with you. But. Back to the 76ers at hand. So they got the Lakers that are coming in. Oh, Ryan, what's up, buddy? Good morning, sir. And I'm pretty sure he's all ready for the Eagles. If the 76ers can somehow, some way slow down LeBron James on Tuesday, and by the way, 76ers this week have 4 games, and 3 out of the 4 games are nationally televised. Against the Lakers, against the Nuggets on Friday, and against the Celtics next Sunday. Hopefully, this is an appropriate question still on EOP. Hey, listen. No, I miss my EOP family, man. But right now, I'm with Stream Punk Entertainment Sports. Give them a like, follow, subscribe. That's where you can see my face there, Ryan. Listen, but yes, so if the 76ers in some way slow down Joel Embiid, LeBron James, and still win. Now, granted, LeBron James, he's 4th in assists. You got Anthony Davis, who's like 3rd in blocks. You got Tyrese Maxey, second or tied for 2nd in steals, but I don't know how the 76ers could pull out a win on Tuesday against the Lakers, who've won 5 out of 6. They've been playing red-hot basketball too. How do they still win? Well, they got a tune-up game coming in on Monday. So this Lakers got to go down to Charlotte and take on the Hornets. So hopefully in a back-to-back situation where they have to fly up to Philly, tired, fatigue, you could get that kind of a leeway against that team. But if they steal a win against the Lakers, how can you not be excited? How can you be excited? Now, Drummond's day-to-day, Paul George's day-to-day. So it's going to be curious to see if those guys make the lineup for Tuesday night. If you get Drummond at least back to somewhat hold down the 4, then you're in good shape. You know? You get – but imagine, then, like I said, then you got the Kings coming up after that. That's like a get-right game lose against the Lakers. You have things to work on, and then you have the Nuggets coming in on Friday night, and then you play against the Boston Celtics. By the way, we've already stole a W from the Boston Celtics on Christmas. So now you're lining yourself up and feeling pretty good. You can grab that 10th seed. It's not too far off. The 76ers are 17-27, and the Bulls, who currently hold on to that 10th seed, is 19-27. Now, like I said, there's plenty of basketball to be played. But I like the 76ers' chances today. I like them. I like them getting to the playoffs, and I think they could do it without Joel Embiid. Look, it's complimentary if Joel Embiid could get on the floor for this team. If he don't, I that's the only part I don't like because I feel like this team has to rediscover what they can and can't do and come up with different scenarios of how to win and different. This goes all the way back to Brett Brown. This goes all the way back to Brett Brown. When Brett Brown had to figure out what to do without Joel Embiid, or if he was going to get him, he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure if he was going to get him in the lineup. So, it's like I said, it'll be huge. Like to me, like LeBron's going to get his. There's no stopping LeBron, right? But there's other way. There's all others. If the supporting cast could do what they've been doing, if Kelly Oubre could bring his A game, if Eric Gordon could just do what he's been doing, just shooting better from the perimeter. If you can average out the 3 to 4 3-pointers, you're in good shape. And then you could possibly steal a big win from the Lakers. And if Paul George is going to be in the lineup because he's huge. He had 30 points on Friday. It's nothing to sneeze at. Like a win feels great. I can't worry about the big picture with this team. I gotta worry about the here and now and what they can do. And it's going to be interesting because the trade deadline is going to be coming up soon. What are the 76ers going to do? Alan Brand, Dal Morgan, what are those guys going to do? If they do anything, how the 76ers fans are going to react. But enough with the 76ers talk. I got to get into what's next. And what's next is this hockey team. This Flyers team I got to talk about now. Because if I'm going to sit there and talk about their the management for them, I got to talk about Danny Briere. Is it time that is he going to get his hands dirty? What's he going to do? This team, up until Thursday, won 5 out of 6 games. We're really, really doing great things. Now, Flyers need to get into the win column, man. They got to get back. Their opposition by both the Rangers and Islanders, both New York teams, they've given up 9 goals. They can set the tone of a game, but they can't finish. They sit on their hands. And that's not going to get the job done. Like, this team has to be better. And like I said, up until this point, they were cooking. But winning puck battles, winning against the boards, like now, they just set the tone, they get the first goal, and then they go in cruise control. You can't do that. Like the Islanders, right? The Islanders did their thing on Sunday or Friday night. Anthony Duclair, all the goals were off the rush. Anthony Duclair, Brock Nelson, all scoring. And the Flyers didn't do anything. And I'm tired of the rebuild word. That word is really starting to annoy me. We have a franchise piece and set. We have a guy who can score in this league, and Travis Konechny. To me, it's time to move forward. I think they like to use the word rebuild because if when they lose, the Flyer fans can't get mad. The Flyer fans can't get mad. They just have to admit and look into the window mirror and find out this is just a rebuild. That's their excuse. But how many times and how many years are we going to use rebuild? This team hasn't done anything through the Travis Konechny era. You know? I mean, look at the race in the Eastern Conference. And what's going to separate Danny Briere from the rest of these teams come trade deadline time? It's a tight race from the 6th seed all the way down to the 15th seed. Like, if you look in the West, like the 9th seed, like Vancouver, is like the deadline, like the cutoff line. But if you look at the Philadelphia Flyers, like I said, 6th seed all the way down to the 15th seed, it's a tight race. It's a tight race. The Bruins, the Lightning, the Blue Jackets, the Senators, the Canadiens, the Rangers, the Red Wings, the Flyers, the Islanders, the Penguins. It's like from 48 points up to 56, and that's all the teams that are sitting right there. The Bruins, the Lightning, and Blue Jackets are holding on to that 6th, 7th, and 8th seed, but look at all the hungry teams right behind it. Like the bottom feeders are hungry this year. It's going to be interesting with all these teams. Who wants to be a seller? Who wants to be a buyer? What's Danny Briere going to do? And to me, he's got to make a move, man. Can't sit there. He's got great pieces now. It's sometimes, man, I feel like this team is what it is. A middle of the pack, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. They have pieces to me that could play. The Cam Yorks, obviously the Mitchkoffs, Tyson Forsters, Morgan Frost. Like they got a plethora of young cats who can score and who can play in this league. But there's something missing to this team. Something missing that's holding me back. And maybe it might be the coaching. It might be the coaching to me. What's the coaching? I mean, John Tortorella, I think he's done a great job coaching these guys individually, but as far as game planning and all that, I don't know. There's something missing with this squad. And I feel better about the goalie situation. And I think I kind of nailed it as I'm talking and thinking about it. I think it's the defense. Losing to Sean Walker was a major setback. And they've yet to do anything to address that part. Now we hear the rumblings through the water that Ristolainen is going to be out of here. All right, what do we got to replace it with? What's the defensive piece going to be like? We need defense for this team. And we don't have it. We need some more defensive pieces around this squad. They got great guys who can score. But there's times, man, like I mentioned earlier, you watch that Islanders game on Friday, they were hung out to dry. The Islanders on 2 possessions back to back off the rush, scored goals. Anthony Duclair, you know, it was easy for those guys to just to kind of walk right in. Like, we need tough defense out there. Nick Sealer ain't the guy he was last year. I mean, he's a decent player, but we need some tough defensive players here for the Philadelphia Flyers if they want to make a shot at the playoffs. It is just such a tight race. With 9 teams involved for the playoffs, it is a tough race. Whether this team's going to move forward, who's going to make it, who wants it more. Like I said, 9 teams all have pretty much the same scoring record, same points. Like I said, the Flyers right now are at the 13th seed, sitting at 22-22 with 50 points. The Flyers need to make a move. I'm tired of missing out on playoff hockey. We all know in hockey, if you can make it to the dance, you can become prom king or queen, whatever. You could become prom king if you just make it to the dance. We've all seen the teams that just make it through the door and make the wildest runs. And the team that sits at the 1 seed is usually out of gas, out of fuel. But we all been watching hockey for quite some time. And I just don't want to miss it anymore. It's been 5 years since we had playoff hockey here. 5 years. That's a long time. It's a long time. Drew was still here. And that feels like that trade was forever ago. Like, a lot of things have changed with this hockey team. Progelov was here. Like, I want to make a run. I want to be able to get in. If we could find some decent defensemen, whether through our farm system or out in the market, but something I think that needs to give in. And we need one more really decent goal scorer. And don't get me wrong, the Morgan Frosters of the world, the Tyson and Forsters, those pieces are good. But I need one more set of where the offense runs through, not just Mitch Cobb and not just Travis Konechny. They need one more complementary piece on offense, to me. And I think this Flyers team will be right there, they are right there, right in the thick of things, and they need to go on a run now. They got a tough schedule that's coming up this week. They got a home-and-home series against the Devils. They get a revenge match game against the Islanders next Friday. And then they fly out to Colorado to take on the Avs. So Flyers are in control of their destiny. And I like the game that they had against the Islanders last go around. Not the Islanders, against the Devils. It was a defensive sounded game. The Devils struggled on offense against this team. So now I'm curious to know what's going to happen. And if you're a Flyers fan, this is what's hurting them. They can set the tone, but they can't finish the game as late. Last 2 games gave up 9 goals. They need to get back into the win column. Is Danny Briere going to get his hands dirty coming up soon? I'm worried about. So, I'm enjoying this Eagles ride. Don't get me wrong. Loving it. Loving another opportunity to go into the Super Bowl. But what's after this run? Think about it, Philadelphia sports fans. What's after this run? What do we have waiting in the wings? Right? Because I think the Phillies are going to take a step back. They just lost Jeff Hoffman. I think that they're due for a setback, especially with Soto going to be playing for the Mets. That's going to be a problem. The Philadelphia Union have a brand new head coach, so that's going to take time to figure out his system and how fast can these players gel to it. Not really sure what I have in the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't know the identity to it. I guess they're just young. The 76ers, I'm just being optimistic that they're going to hopefully go on a run now. But I mean, hindsight, they're not ready for a championship, and neither are the Flyers. So to me, the Wings could be your best solution after the Eagles. And people are not going to give them a shot because they're not they're not the 4 for 4. They're not one of the original 4 for 4, so people won't want to give the Wings. And that's a shame because they should. Should give the Philadelphia Wings some love. Now, I'm not just saying because I'm a beat reporter for them, because it is a lot of fun to go cover one of their games and watch. And they're 5-2. So at least you have a winning solution there. But I don't know what your winning solution is going to be for this Flyers team. How much of an input is Danny Briere really going to have? What's he going to do? Is he really going to change things here? I don't know. I hope Danny Briere changes things for the Flyers near future. But they need defensemen bad. The lack of defensemen is hurting this team. Travis Sanheim doesn't do anything for me. A couple of these guys don't do anything for me. Ristolainen, okay, he's a decent defenseman. But outside of that, what do they have? What do they have? And like I said, they got a tough schedule coming up. You got a home and home with the Devils. That's not going to be easy. You're going to have to bring the same formula that you had before, just playing hard, tough defense. And try to have the Devils trying to force them to beat you. And then you get a revenge factor against the Islanders coming up next week too. Next Thursday. And then you head out to Colorado. Colorado is not going to be a day at the beach, that's for sure. So, Flyer fans, what are you thinking? Is Danny Briere going to get involved? What's he going to do? I'm just saying I need to see something out of the guy. Great, they picked up Mitchkov. Great, but what's he going to do? See, Howie Roseman has set the tone in this city. What he's done with his tenure here. I want that for all the teams. Like, I never signed on with what the Sixers were going to do this year. Because I figure this is what the record is, what it's going to be. You're only being optimistic for the squad, right? Danny Brayer's new, but I think it's fair, and I know a lot of guys who cover this team and talk about this team, other podcasters. It's time for Danny Brayer to kind of move things along a little bit. Let's see what kind of general manager he really is going to be. You got like I said, Philadelphia Union team just got a brand new head coach, so that's going to take time for that squad to turn around and get used to gelling with a brand new coach and all those other things and knowing his playbook and yeah. Wings right now are the current aftermath after the Philadelphia Eagles. Paul Day, guys, if you haven't yet watched any Wings lacrosse, get into it. Check it out. Go down to a game. Paul Day has rehauled this team, and he's done a great job. They're 5-2. Steve says, "Hell no, Union are going to win it all, baby." Dude. I think Steve is already tailgating a little too hard already this morning, because I can't see that team. I know he's only messing around too. So, Steve, I want to buy into that team, but I can't. I can't. Replacing Jim Curtin, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for. But, we got to give it a chance. So, Philadelphia Flyers, back tomorrow night. I'll have the call for you on the Flyers, the Third Line Joel. So you haven't yet subscribed to the Third Line Joel Flyers post-game show right here on YouTube. I'll have you covered. Flyers, Devils. Hopefully the Flyers get themselves back into the win column, because they're right there. They're in the thick of things with like 8 other teams. But they need a win. So we'll see what happens. But today is the big day. Today is the big one. We just talked about the Flyers. We talked about the Sixers. But now it's time for the main course. Let's talk some Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and what are they going to do. And I'm a little scared. And I'm not just saying it for the show and all that other stuff. I'm saying it because the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, opened my eyes last weekend. But who would have thought? Who would have thought that the NFC Championship game was going to run through the NFC East? Because it comes down to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders right here in South Philly. This is what you wanted. This is everything. It comes down to today. And I'm a little scared. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm a little scared, to be honest. Because I don't know. And I want to, just because I saw the Washington Commanders go into Detroit and handle business. Handle business. Jalen Daniels has me scared. Dan Quinn has me scared. That's a young core. Zach Ertz knows this team in and out. It's not going to be pretty. This is the third time these teams have faced off this season. And like I said, you got to give the Commanders credit because they go into Washington. I mean, they go into Detroit with their backs against the wall. You guys ever watch Creed 1? Do you remember what Rocky told young Creed? About young Ivan Drago with his being the most dangerous animal because he has nothing to lose. The Washington Commanders have nothing to lose. Have nothing to lose. They weren't supposed to be here. The Eagles have everything to lose. They're supposed to be winning. They got the best running back in the league. They got the potential MVP of the league. And Saquon. They got the best O-line, the best defense. With or without Jalen Hurts, the Washington Commanders handled them about a month ago. And people could tell me, oh, well, it would have been a different story if Jalen played. Well, would it? That team is young. They got a franchise quarterback at the helm. Like I said, they have nothing to lose, which makes them dangerous. They just went up to Detroit and balled out. Balled out. And I wonder if the Eagles now, being at home, are stocked with all this pressure of needing to get the job done. Which scares me. Which scares me. And I think, and I want to know if this is going to annoy a lot of. So this question came to me earlier in the week by my buddy Vince. And he says, do you think Josh Harris will be public enemy number one? What I'm thinking, I say yes, because the minute the Commanders score a TD, they're going to go right to the box, and they're going to show him celebrating with all of his Commander crap on. Celebrating. Knowing that he owns the Sixers. But he can show you how much he's cared about that. But the Washington Commanders scare me today. And I know 85% of the Eagles fandom right now are overlooking this game. And I can't overlook them smashing the Lions in the mouth. I can't overlook that. Zach Ertz wants one more Super Bowl run. And he's with the right franchise. And I want to see this Eagles team win, of course. But I got to admit, I'm scared. Why am I scared? Because I'm afraid of what I saw last week. As a team that wasn't afraid to go into Detroit and handle business. Like I said, they are the most dangerous team because they have nothing to lose. There's no pressure on this Commanders team. If they lose, they so what? They're supposed to lose. But if they win, that's the story of a lifetime. It's crazy. The NFC Championship is separated by I-95. Like, the NFC, two very best teams are in the East. It's crazy times right now. Crazy. Like you look at the Commanders' numbers last week, and Jaden completes 22 passes for 299 yards. Jalen Daniels for 2 TDs. Like, that's pretty good. Now, granted, if you want to look at last week's numbers too, for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts did not have the greatest throwing. He only had a $120, 15 completions. He got sacked 7 times. That's an issue. Got sacked 7 times. Karen Williams ran for 106 yards. And Matthew Stafford was not afraid to attack the middle of the field. He went deep at a couple occasions to Demarcus Robinson, to Pukanuka. He went deep. And the Eagles didn't have an answer really. I mean, came up huge. I mean, let's be honest. All of our sphincters were tightened up on that last drive from the Rams because it had the smell of a Rams victory. And they weren't afraid to play in the snow. They weren't afraid of it. It's crazy, right? Because they said on the telecast, because they brought about the last snowball and how, 11 years later, Matthew Stafford was part of it in Philly twice. So I want to know, Eagles fans, are you afraid today? You're waking up, you're looking in the mirror, you're ready to go probably get your grocery runs done. Are you afraid? I am. I can't sit there and feel 100% confident the Eagles are going to walk out of Lincoln Financial Field with a W. Every game between the Birds and the Commander always comes down to the wire. Always. And we've been lucky for a few times. Now, we lost the last time out. I want to vomit because Greg Olsen, all he did was brag about the Commanders, knowing that we didn't have Jalen Hurts. And not having Jalen Hurts sent a ripple effect. And speaking of, how is Jalen Hurts' leg? Is he at 100? Will he be ready to go? You heard the coaching staff of the Commanders. They're going to be lock, stock, and barrel and ready to smash Jalen if he decides to get out of the pocket. You heard it out of their mouths. So what do the Eagles have to do today? They got to keep them all balanced. They got to do what they've been doing. Run Saquon. Come on, some good aerial throws. I say A.J. Brown is due for a big game. And probably they have all eyes on him, so which probably have to get Goddard more involved, Katara more involved, Smith more involved, get creative, come across the middle. They've been attacking the outside edges. And the defense, I mean, look, 5 sacks last week, 2 from Jalen Carter last week. That was impressive. But they're going to have to come and eat today. You're going to have to try and contain a young Jaden Daniels in the pocket and maybe That's going to be the difference maker. The inexperience of Jalen Daniels at this particular time. But it looks like the playoffs don't scare him not one iota. And all that stuff means nothing to him. Means nothing. Eagle fans, chime in. I want to hear from you. Do you think Jalen's 100%? I don't. But we need him on the field. We saw the last go around without him. Kenny Pickett, serviceable, but not the guy. You got to, I mean, this team needs to be money today. Needs to be money if they have hopes and dreams to make it their little rundown for the Super Bowl. New Orleans, they got to be on their A game. Will they? I don't know. This is going to be a battle for this team, and I'm scared. Like I said, I'm scared. And I'll be admitted. I can admit. Because this Washington Commanders team, if you're just checking in, have nothing to lose. Nothing. Terry McLaurin is going to get involved. Dommy Brown, who had 6 catches last week for 98 yards. Like, they got some playmakers. He can scramble out of the pocket. He's a young Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are going to have to try and contain this kid on defense. Zach Bones is going to have to get in there and come eat. Jalen Hurts is going to have to come eat. Do what they've been doing the Vic Fangio thing. Drop into coverage. Send that nickel formation, then drop into coverage with those other guys. But you have to put some pressure on Jalen Daniels. You have to start putting pressure on him. You have to get to the quarterback today. That's going to be your story. And I don't know how they're going to get to him. But they're going to have to come eating today. They have to come eat. And it's going to be a wild one for sure. But I cannot – I'm only giving you my truth and speaking from my heart. I can't say the Eagles are going to win today. I can't. I want to believe in the Eagles. But there's something in the back of my head saying, look out. Look out for this young team. Got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. So, but I do want to know predictions. What is your predictions for today? Only 4 teams left. Only 2 are going to the Super Bowl. I got the Commanders and I got the Chiefs today. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I hope it's a Birds and Chiefs rematch. Or maybe is this the day that the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen finally come over the hill and slay the dragon and slay the Chiefs and put them down? Because I'm tired of the Chiefs. I got to be honest. I respect the talent that's out there. I love Patrick Mahomes. He's a very exploding player. He's very entertaining to watch. He's got an arm. He's got a cannon. But if I have to sit here and watch one more game and see 85% of Taylor Swift's face, I'm going to vomit. I don't need to see Taylor Swift every 15 minutes. It's horrible. I don't know what's going to be more sickening to watch, her or if the Commanders score, you're going to see Josh Harris doing a no pants stance. And I don't need to see either or. I don't want to see Josh Harris. I don't want to see Taylor Swift. I want to see a Birds win. Set the tone early. Get on the scoreboard early. And I need Elliott to be on his A game. I need Mr. Elliott because if it comes down to field goals, I needed him for being on his A game. This has been his worst year so far. So, Eagle fans, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Are you feeling an Eagles win today? Are you feeling an Eagles win today? Because I can't say the same. I know a lot of people will say, well, you should get a dog. Oh, come on, man. Be realistic. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. You should be terrified. But anyway, guys, so we have the Eagles post-game show here today. First and Feathers with Mitch, Swerve, our man Ed, who's from the Steelers shows, but he's a Commanders fan. So hope you're doing that. And then you have all across all the time tonight going over all the action from this past week in LL. So you don't want to miss Gary Groove, Sean Slaught, Muffler Mike, those guys. I'll be back at the Wells Fargo Center this weekend covering Wings in the Nighthawks, Rochester Nighthawks. But guys, stay tuned, man. We got plenty of action here today. Like I said, you have Eagles post-game show. You have all across all the time. Don't want to miss out. And guys, go Birds. All right, I will catch you next week. We will be talking whether the Eagles are going to go to New Orleans for a Super Bowl trip or if the Eagles are going to stay home and go fishing. I hope not. But anyway, this has been Pat Bernard. This is the Pat Bernard Show for the entire hour I had you. Guys, thank you so much. Go Birds.